So, good afternoon, teacher. My name is Anita Tatiana Barreto. My classmate is Juliana Anesa Naranjo. Today, we are going to present phase 5, educational and pedagogical practice. In this activity, we are going to answer some questions about the course. Uh, so the first question is, what was the most rewarding aspect of your pedagogical practice experience? In my case, one of the highlights of the course is the integration of resources and technologies into the learning methodologies. The wide variety of technological tools available today significantly facilitates the teaching process. In addition, the arrival of artificial intelligence has revolutionized the way students learn, offering new opportunities to personalize and enhance the learning experience. Okay. Now my classmates are going to present the answer the same question. What was the most rewarding aspect of your pedagogical practice experience, Juliana?
I have pedagogical practice since 2017 because I was teaching in different places since this year. So the most rewarding aspect is the adaptability of the teacher. I think that it's very important to understand that every context, every situation, every group, every student is so different. So the teacher need to explore this tool. I think it's a tool because you need to change, you need to improve what the group needs, not just what I can do and what I feel comfortable. Is just thinking about what my group needs and what can I do for them. So for me, the most rewarding aspect is the ability of the teachers to change, to innovate, to be better in their practice and focus into the context of their students.
Okay, thank you. The second question is, how did the course content help you understand different ways to support language learning? Um, it has allowed me to reflect on the students learn, as each has a unique learning style. In addition, I have been able to understand that each student has their own weaknesses and strengths, and that education currently focuses on adapting to the individual needs of the student. This represents a significant change from the old methodologies that generalizes to a certain group of students without taking into account their individual needs. Juliana, please answer the question. How did the course content help you understand different ways to support language learning?
The content of this course helped me to remind that every single person has a different way to learn. Sometimes the teachers try to be very neutral and very try to get everything in general, but we need to focus and to understand that not all the students learn in the same way. And thinking about a second language that is so difficult to get, we need to keep in mind this. Maybe my student don't understand or doesn't understand because this student has another way to learn. So I need to explore other alternatives and try to do all the classes with thinking in these different ways to think.
Okay, thank you. Third question. How did you understand of language acquisition theories involved during the course? Before I started, I had the idea that there was only one teaching methodology, the same one that was used when I was in school. However, I have discovered that teaching is a complex process that requires careful planning and execution. A teacher must follow a series of steps, including understanding the content, executing the class, and goals. Finally, it is essential to critically reflect on the effectiveness of the class and whether the started objectives were achieved. And Juliana, how did you understanding of language acquisition theories involved during the course?
During this course, I could learn that every single time, every year, different pedagogical people create a new theory. So it's very important to me as a teacher of languages to try to be all the time informed, try to be at the moment, because something I learned in 2018 or 2020 now is obsolete. So I need to all the time keeping reading, keeping finding new investigations about how to learn, because all of this investigation help to me in the classroom to understand why my student doesn't understand, or why my students don't want to learn English. So all these theories are tools that the teacher can use in the classroom. So for me, all these theories show me that I need to continue learning and reading and finding these new theories, because every single year have more.
Okay, thank you, Juliana. The next question is, what innovative activity did you find most effective in engaging students at the Agora meeting? In my case, I really found interesting the activity of the teacher Diego Larte because he designed interactive activities and he led the students to give their own opinion about important topics, for example, education in Colombia. This presentation addressed relevant topics such as technology and artificial intelligence, and the opportunity for discussion and reflection was very enriching. Juliana, what innovative activity did you find most effective in engaging students at the Agora meeting?
In the Agora meeting, I remember this teacher too, because a month before we have a web conference classes with him, and he showed us how important is to create a technological material, but very important to keep in mind how to be inclusive. And sometimes inclusive material is exclusive, because we think, oh, it can help to people that can listen, live people. But what happened with the people that can see, for example? So sometimes a teacher trying to be inclusive don't think in all of the way to learn. So he explored a very interesting way to teach. He said, don't think in a specific necessity. Just think in all the ways to learn. If you focus the idea in the all ways to learn, people that learn visually, by hearing, speaking, and doing the things, you do a class with this, you can help to all the people. You are not exclusive, because you are thinking in all of them, not just in a necessity, in a deaf people. No, and this is a very interesting posture, because sometimes we don't think in that. Honestly, we don't think in people with necessities. So it's very interesting that he has the reflection into us as students to, hey, you need to do innovative material, yes, but have to be inclusive material. So it's a very interesting thing to keep in mind when we do material too.
Okay, thank you so much. And the last question is, what is your evaluation and reflection regarding the products presented at the Agora meeting? I consider that the Agora, the last Agora, was a interesting opportunity to let the students show their ideas. Uh, I we found a lot of interesting presentations. Some of them need to improve something, but the majority of them was very interesting. In conclusion, I think that the teaching English is a complex process that requires planning, effective execution, and continuous evaluation, and that must consider the needs and learning styles of the student with the aim of fostering communication, collaboration, and creativity.
In my case, I evaluate the Agora as a very good activity. It's very necessary for us to recognize the other, because sometimes we are focusing to give the homeworks, give the activities, and we don't think in how many people do a big effort to do this kind of investigations and kind of material. So it's very important that the university bring this opportunity to all the students. The idea is to try that all the groups in during the career, of course, during the 5 years we have been studying, have the opportunity to show this, because in my case, for example, I've been studying since 2019, so I have a lot of material to can show. And it's very good that my students can receive this information and say, okay, this is a good idea, okay, this is a good reflection, okay, I never thought in this, because in this moment I am not being a teacher, I am, for example, an engineer, and I want to be a teacher. So these reflections can help us to be into our reality, because sometimes when we are in the university we say that everything is perfect, everything is beautiful, everything is so happy, but in the reality we have a reading context very difficult. Colombia has a very bad situation in the economy, into the public students. The public and private sector are so different, so we have to do a parallel between them. And these reflections just help us to understand the reality of our country. You are going to be a teacher in this context in the private school, and you are going to be a teacher in this context in the public school. So it's very interesting to continue doing these activities. And the teachers that presented was amazing. I love all of them. I was in previous classes with them, and I can recognize that they did amazing. And I love this activity so much.
So that's it, Juliana. Thank you so much. And thanks for your time.
Thank you, teacher. Bye.